I was genuinely thinking the other day that James Gunn announced that he will be making a new Batman opposite Robert Pattinson in a completely different universe. And he announced that a couple years ago, and we legitimately haven't heard anything about what is going on. I think we're all still a little bit confused. The Brave and the Bold movie is still happening. Andy Muschietti, the director of it, has confirmed that he is still attached to it. His wife, Barbara, is still attached to produce. And this movie is, it is still happening, and it will release after the Batman 2, which we know is coming out in 2027. But it had me thinking, because there was a rumor the other day that James Gunn could be starting casting next year for the new Batman in this DC universe. And we've all had a good thought to ourselves on who we think it could actually be. But I genuinely thought, why not actually put some research into this? Why not actually go online, go into the statistics like it's the freaking Moneyball movie or Moneyball in real life for that matter, and actually calculate who I think will be the new Batman in James Gunn's universe. And I don't know why, but I low-key think I have figured out who is going to be the new Batman in James Gunn's new DCU. And it might shock a lot of you. I'm not going to lie. It might shock a lot of you. A lot of you guys may think it's going to be Alan Richardson or, Glenn Powell, maybe even a Jake Gyllenhaal. There's been a lot of names thrown around. Like, I wouldn't even be surprised if my freaking dad's name has been thrown around to be Batman, and that bloke's like 5'6" and 200 kilos overweight. But after doing a fair bit of research and hearing a lot of people's opinions and kind of crunching it down and watching a lot of different interviews, I'm going to be the early bird here, right? And I'm actually going to say it right now that I feel like the new Batman, and this is going to be a surprise, don't, freaking click the dislike button if you disagree with me or threaten my whole entire family tree in the comments. I understand that this is going to be a surprise, but I feel like the new Batman could genuinely be Bill Skarsgård. Now, some of you guys might have just done a freaking backflip off your chair and thought, what the fuck is this chubby fat guy in a champion t-shirt genuinely cooking with this? But when I was doing a lot of research, and partly this video was actually inspired by the new It series, which has come out, called Welcome to Derry, because as I was watching that as well, I didn't even realize, I had no idea that Andy Muschietti was still involved with it and was directing and making this show this whole entire time, and I didn't even know about it. Of course, Andy Muschietti, the guy who directed the first couple episodes of this show, directed the It movies, he directed the really crappy Flash movie, but he's now going to be directing Brave and the Bold. And over time, in the history of movies, TV, all of the above, directors typically really like to work with actors and production people that they have previously worked with before. And James Gunn himself is no, he's no surprise to this. Like, he has worked with Nathan Fillion 896 different times, Bradley Cooper more times than he can count. The cinematographer and the guy who did the score for Superman also worked on the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, I believe. James Gunn is a culprit when it comes to working with people over and over again. And I figured, if James Gunn is a culprit to this, right, and he's worked with 100 million people that he's worked with before, and he likes to work with people he trusts, why wouldn't he let Andy Muschietti do the same thing and hire a guy in Bill Skarsgård who has not only expressed interest in playing this role, but let Bill Skarsgård be the new Batman and Bruce Wayne? Does Bill Skarsgård have the looks for it? Yeah, I mean, Bruce Wayne's generally a very good-looking billionaire philanthropist, and I think Bill Skarsgård is known to be quite a good-looking guy, even though he can make some funky faces and look like a killer clown. Has Bill Skarsgård also got the body and physique for it? Yeah, that motherfucker was looking absolutely insane in one of his most recent movies, The Crow, and you can definitely tell he has the ability to put on some good muscle. He also happens to be 192 centimeters tall, 6'2" to 6'3", which would be ideally the perfect height to be Bruce Wayne and Batman. He also doesn't have any funky hair colors like red. He doesn't have them ginger pubes. He's got the good brown hair color, which, not that it really makes any difference because they could just dye his hair brown or black if they want, but he's got the natural Bruce Wayne hair color as well. He's also a great actor. He's a great actor who could be, for once, an actual actor that DC bring in who have a name to be one of their characters. Of course, David Corenswet was not really too notable before being Superman. You know, Aaron Pierre, he's done some things, but there's still mainstream audience doesn't know him, and he's going to be the new Green Lantern. Nicholas Hoult has been in a lot of things, but there's not many movies where he is a leading man, especially in a big movie, and I mean, he was like that with Lex Luthor. A lot of the actors they've used so far in the DCU have been a little bit lower, but over the history with Batman, they typically like to have a more, I think, popular actor take on the role, and Bill Skarsgård not only has the acting chops, but he's definitely got a fan base, and I think is quite known around the world to be able to actually go and take on this Batman role. As mentioned earlier as well, he's worked on multiple films now and TV series with Andy Muschietti, the guy who is directing this movie, meaning that they've already got great chemistry and they already are on the same page and know what each other overall wants. Now, there still is the option that Bill Skarsgård doesn't be Batman, because some people may actually critique him for being too crazy and just being more of a psycho thriller, horror kind of actor, and would be better on to take on a character like the Joker, which has also been suggested to him, and he's also said he would love to be the Joker. And even though I think that is a good idea, I think he could make a really cool Joker if you do ask me. I'm just going to disagree with the whole stance on that, because there are a ton of Batman that are pretty crazy fucking guys. I mean, look at Ben Affleck. That guy literally branded people in his movies. And you got Robert Pattinson, who's a genuine emo boy who lives in an underground railway for his Batcave. I would love to see a psychological thriller Batman who could also lean into the horror elements, which I think Bill Skarsgård could do. Like, I know Batman movies are dark, and we are looking for a more, I think, colorful Batman movie in James Gunn's DCU to kind of counter the darker The Batman film by Matt Reeves. But I don't know if that is overall going to happen. And considering Clayface is going to be an R-rated horror movie, I think it'd be really awesome if The Brave and the Bold actually lent in and had some horror elements to it. It doesn't have to be a horror movie. There can be some moments in the film that contrast the horror elements where it is more brighter to compare to the Batman film. But considering Andy Muschietti, I feel like some of the best work, obviously, he's done is in the horror genre. Wouldn't it be cool to have an actor who actually specializes in that and could genuinely, I think, play and do some really cool horror scenes with this new DCU Batman? So it's like Bill Skarsgård is charismatic. He's got the name. I mean, I genuinely feel like this could be the direction they go with. He's also the perfect age. He's a very similar age to David Corenswet. He's a perfect age where you would actually believe that maybe this guy has a 15 or 16-year-old son in like a Damian Wayne or whatever it might be. I think this would be a good direction. I could really see Bill Skarsgård being the new Batman. I'm kind of going to predict that that's where they may go with this. But of course, if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Comment your thoughts and opinions down below. Am I cooking with this or am I not? Do you guys think Bill Skarsgård could be the new Batman or new Bruce Wayne? Definitely let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Subscribe to my sports channel as well if you haven't already, and give my Instagram a follow, which will also be getting linked down below. But yeah, as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.